It is the day after the Twin Cities Marathon, and so I wanted to give you a race recap. But again, 'cause I'm so excited, I can't even contain myself. I have to show you. Oh my god. Hey guys, it's Beth. It is the day after the Twin Cities Marathon, and so I wanted to give you a race recap. But again, 'cause I'm so excited, I can't even contain myself. I have to show you. Oh my god. I finished it, and this is a very shiny finisher's medal. It's got the leaf, and it says marathon finisher, so pretty awesome. And then on the back, there's a place where you can have it engraved with time and stuff. So I finished. I'm so happy I finished. So it is a marathon PR for me. I finished this one in 5 hours, 10 minutes, 39 seconds was my official finish time. And I can't believe I finished it. My original goal for this race was to just show up and have a long run with some water stops. But this was really fantastic. And I'm so glad that I decided to give the Galloway training method a try, because I honestly don't think I could have finished it without doing the run walk intervals. So I'll tell you a little bit about the race now and kind of how everything went down yesterday, my experience with this race. So I actually showed up to the start pretty early, and I'm sorry I don't have any pictures. I was so focused on just surviving the day. I didn't really take any pictures. Took a couple at the finish, but no pictures, no videos, and I'll explain more why. But I got there pretty early because I was actually traveling in with some friends of mine, and they were running the 10-miler, which starts an hour before the marathon. So I had plenty of time to get a snack and walk around and use the porta potty a couple of times just because I was nervous, and just really feel settled. So that extra hour I was glad I had. It didn't make me feel any more nervous or anything. In fact, it was really nice to just have the time to be there and to kind of center myself, I guess. So it was good. Once the race started, it took a while to get started because I was in the very back corral. So it took maybe 10 or 15 minutes to get everybody started after the official 8 o'clock in the morning start time. But then we took off. And I started across the start line walking. So that was advice that Chris Twiggs had given me, and I'm really, really grateful for that, because it just kind of helps set the pace for the race that I'm doing run walk. I'm starting walking, and I don't know, it was a good way to start for me. So I started out walking, and then I did my intervals, and I had my gym boss attached to my hip. I always have it in my waistband. And so I started off with the 30-second walk, 30-second run intervals, and I did that the whole way. And so it's pretty uneventful the first 4 miles even, I would say. It was just running. I felt good. I did notice I was a little faster than I thought I wanted to be. So I was aiming for a 13-minute mile. My watch kept coming up with 11 something, in some seconds, the first several miles. And I was a little nervous. I was going out too fast, and I kept trying to pull back and slow down and pull back and slow down. And then still every mile would come up and say 11 something, even though I thought I was slowing down. I felt really, really good. So that was the first 4 miles or so. I would say at about mile 4 or 4.5, my gym boss fell off. It flew off my body. I'd never had that happen. It was under my shirt, tucked into my pants, and somehow, I don't know what I hit, but it's my interval timer. It fell off and hit the pavement, and some really nice runner behind me picked it up and flagged me down and said, "Hey, you dropped this." And I was so grateful, because I wouldn't have even noticed that happened at all. So I lost my gym boss, got it back, but the back plate that keeps the battery in had busted off of it, and I was able to put it back on. The battery's still in there, but when I went to start up the intervals again, I tried for a few minutes to try to get it to work, and it just wouldn't. I couldn't remember the steps to set up the intervals again, and I was running and trying to fix it. I just couldn't figure it out. It's not very hard. It was one of those things that I just couldn't even function to do that at that point. It was not my focus. So I was oh well, I put it in my pocket and I started watching my watch instead. And so from mile 4 through the finish, I watched my watch, and every time it said, you know, it got to the 30-second mark, I would run, and then when it got to the 0-0, I would walk, if that makes sense. Like on the minute I would walk, and on the 30-second I would run. And I did that through the rest of the race. So there were a couple intervals where I forgot, and I'm 7 seconds behind, or I walked a little too much, I ran a little too much, but for the most part, I literally stared at my watch almost the whole race. And I think that really mentally was something, it gave me something to do. So I think it was good in that respect, but in the future, I will find a better way to not lose my interval timer. So, so that happened. And then pretty uneventful. Even past that, I just kept trying to like slow down. It wasn't really, so eventually I just kind of gave into it, said whatever, I'm running what I'm running and it feels good, and I never felt like I was pushing too hard or too fast. I never did feel like that. It was still 11 somethings up until I'm about mile 19 is when that finally, I slowed down a little bit, but mile 11, I started getting some really bad foot pain. His feet were tired. Like that's the only way I can describe it, just my feet were tired. So that was what I dealt with about mile 11. And I know that with that foot pain, I've had it before. Eventually it will go numb. So I kept thinking, please just stop, just go numb, I'll feel better. And it didn't until about mile 19. That's actually when I started slowing down too, because I was just tired in general at that point after running 19 miles. But that was pretty much the experience with 8 miles of just like foot pain. And I mentally tried to just brush it off and not worry about it. But it was there, and I just kept running through it, and it was fine overall. Like it didn't slow me down. It just hurt. So that was about the first, that got me through to about 19 miles. And then after 19, I started slowing down because I was just tired. There's also a big hill from, I think it's like 20 to 20, maybe mile 22 or even 23, I think. So that big hill just kind of kept slogging up it. Was a little slower, but just kept plugging along. And then somewhere around mile 22, I had some kind of a nervous breakdown. Like I don't know what happened. But that place at Summit Avenue on the race course, it's that last like stretch, a big old stretch of Summit Avenue. I was running down there, and it looks like Delaware. Like it looked like the Delaware marathon I ran back in May. And I just had some kind of a panic attack. I was blacking out. I was like hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was screaming, but I couldn't hear anything. Like it was just terrible. Nobody said anything, so I don't think I was actually visibly freaking out. But I like could not function for like maybe half a mile, because the way that the road looks, if you saw my Delaware Marathon video, there's a place where my family was cheering, where there's like a grassy area, and then you have the traffic going one way on the street, and then on the other side of the street you have traffic going the other way. And just the way the trees were, the way the lighting was, the way the grass looked, it was the same time of day, it was the same 20 something miles where I just felt awful in Delaware. It was just like I started getting flashbacks, and I was just freaking out, could not like breathe or get through it. I think it was maybe half a mile like that. I'm not really sure. Eventually I calmed down and I was okay. And like I said, I finished the race. But it was just very strange. That was the one like really weird thing that happened during this race. So I just kept going, and mile 25, I think 24, 25, I just ran continuously. I had this feeling of I just want to be done. I just want to finish this, and I don't want to take 14 minutes to do it. I'd rather take 10 or 11 or something. So I think that mile, maybe I'll show you my paces here, but that mile was a little bit faster just because I wanted to run it continuously, and that was working better for that mile. And then I got tired, and I kind of did mostly running with a couple walk breaks. Then at that point to the finish, got my medal. I felt really bad for the kid who put it around my neck, because I was like just happy, like full snot, just like happy, crying, wailing, sobbing. Like I was just so happy to finish. So it was just a really, really awesome day, and I'm glad I finished it. So yeah, so excited. I'll try to put some clips in here where I show the paces. I'll go back and edit. Okay, so here are my paces and my results for this race. This is I'm in my run, which sometimes comes in a little weird, but it looks like it's pretty accurate to what my Garmin said. So again, this right here is where it says this was the first mile, and then kind of comes down. And again, it was 11 somethings all the way. You can kind of see on the left where it's like highlighting the map, kind of where it was on the course. And then scroll down after 9. So here is mile 10. Again, still 11 somethings the whole like way until about, yeah, here it is, 19. It got a little slower because I was tired. There's mile 20, 21, and etc. down here. That was my longest one was 23, and that was partially from yep, right along there, the Summit Avenue somewhere. There was my little meltdown. But yeah, it was, I guess 24 was slower too anyway. But you can kind of see that was how it went. So around 25, this is the one I ran continuously. I don't know why it's all zoomed in all of a sudden, but those are my results. But that was my marathon experience. The rest of the day after, I don't know, it felt like it's the same as Delaware. After, I think I was moving around a little bit better, but still just like really sore, just stiff, tired legs. And then I started feeling sick last night, just like kind of flu-like symptoms, and even this morning a little bit, but starting to feel better today, and I'm going to try to do some walking to recover. I think that will help too. And I think honestly, I just didn't hydrate very well after the race. I usually chug, like one of those giant, like the big Gatorades, and I didn't have that this time. I just had half a bottle of water, and I don't think I did a very good job hydrating, so that's my takeaway if I ever do this again. So that was my marathon experience. I hope you're having a great day and a great weekend, and I will keep you updated with what's next. I don't know what's next, so that is all I've got, and I will talk to you later. Thanks, bye.